Economic and Workforce Development is being called to order. Since we are in the process of establishing a quorum, we're going to go ahead and begin in a subcommittee. We are just hearing one bill today, and seeing as this is likely the last time this committee will be meeting this session, we will also be exacting on that same bill today. So Representative Shields, so whenever you're ready, please begin.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate it. I know you had a late night, so thank you. I am Representative Brenda Shields. I represent District 11 in St. Joseph, Missouri, and today I'm here to present the House Committee set for House Bill 326. It is an accumulation of three bills. We put this little perfect package together for you. The first part of the bill is the Children for Champions tax credit and the food bank tax credit. It extends or sunsets till 2032, but mainly what this does in our benevolent tax credits in the state, that people participate in them. We reach their max, but people file their taxes on April the 15th, and then on July 1st, the Department of Revenue spreads out those taxes and allocates them to every individual, and then everybody that participated in that tax credit receives a notice from the Department of Revenue that they owe taxes, plus penalties and interest. This eliminates the penalties and interest if you pay or make a payment plan within 60 days. The next one, and the real meat of that we put into this bill, is the amateur sports tax credit in this bill. This I can try to explain it. It wasn't mine. I understand it. My community, St. Joseph, has really benefited from this tax credit. We brought in a lot of amateur NCAA tournaments into our local community. They changed how they're going to issue these tax credits to an attendance-based tax credit instead of an expense-based tax credit. I think it works out well. And then the last one is the diaper bank tax credit, and what it does is it just extends its sunset to 2031. So I'm happy to try to answer any questions. I know you've heard all these bills previously, so thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any questions for the bill sponsor? Seeing none, anyone that would like to testify in favor, please come forward.
Hi, good morning. I'm Jessica Seitz. I'm the Executive Director of the Missouri Network Against Child Abuse, and my organization represents the 15 accredited regional child advocacy centers here in Missouri. So I'm here to speak in strong support of this legislation, specifically the extension of the Champion for Children tax credit. So all of those child advocacy centers are eligible entities and have very much benefited from the existence of this tax credit since its inception in 2013. The Child Advocacy Centers are a public-private partnership, so they were founded by local communities. They do receive some public funding, but also rely strongly on local charitable giving. And this tax credit has served as an important incentive to that local giving. And giving also means partners and support for the work they do serving kids that are victims of child abuse. So that encourages, it supports smaller donations, as small as $100. Maybe if somebody's going to give 100, they'll give 200. It has just been a great partnership, and we'd love to see, or we think it's urgent that it be extended because it does expire this year. So we would hate to see that lapse. So thank you for your support. I welcome any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Please be sure to leave a witness form. Next up, they would like to testify in favor.
Yep. I'm so sorry. This is my first time here, so I didn't quite know the protocol. My name is Kat Dahl. I'm the Executive Director of a Child Advocacy Center located in Springfield. We cover 14 counties as our service region. We go from Greene County all the way to Shannon County, pretty much down to the Arkansas border and a couple of counties to the north. So we have a pretty big service area. In 2014, 1,657 children came through our center receiving services, and we are the only service provider of these forensic services in our region. We do all of this on a $3 million budget with 33 staff members and 5 part-time members. So this Champions for Children's tax credit is incredibly important to us in being able to meet our fundraising goals. We need to raise annually a minimum of $750,000 a year. And I can tell you that each year we have donors call multiple times asking, are there tax credits available? And if so, yes, then they're willing to donate. If our answer is no, they go somewhere else. It's a competitive landscape for philanthropic dollars, and the Champions for Children's tax credit certainly helps us. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions to the witness? Could you repeat your name real quick?
Yes, Katina Dahl. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're going to break real quick and go ahead and establish a quorum. Secretary, when you're ready, please call the roll.
Senators Brown,
Here.
Gregory 21, Gregory 15, Lewis, Schnelting, Trent, Washington. We have a quorum.
We have established a quorum. Next up, that would like to testify in favor of the bill, please come forward.
Guys are here, thanks.
Kate Costas, registered lobbyist on behalf of the Kansas City and St. Louis Sports Commission. I want to thank the bill handler and you all. I know that you've heard about the amateur sports tax credits a handful of times in this committee and on the floor. And so, happy to answer any questions, but I assume by now you're tired of hearing about it.
Thank you. Do you have any questions for the witness? Seeing none. Next up to testify in favor.
Thanks for being here.
Hi, Ward Cook on behalf of Happy Bottoms, here to testify on behalf of Happy Bottoms for the diaper bank tax credit. You all know the issue. We expired. We need to extend it this year to continue the tax credit and all the good work that our diaper banks do across the state. So appreciate your time, appreciate Representative Shields, and thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for the witness? Seeing
Thanks.
none. Next up in favor.
Thanks again.
You're welcome, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Will Mars on behalf of the Branson Lakes Area Chamber of Commerce and Visit Springfield. Just want to go on record and support. We think really all of these components within the bill are beneficial for families in our area. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none. Next up in favor.
Chair, members of the committee, Jessica Petrie here on behalf of Feeding Missouri. It's the coalition of Missouri's food banks. Specifically want to support the portion cleaning up the penalty for the food pantry tax credit. That's really important to support our local food pantry partners. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for the testimony. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none. Next up in favor.
Hello, good morning. My name is Brock Whistler. I'm with the Missouri Court-Appointed Special Advocate Association, or Missouri CASA. We are definitely in favor of extending the Champion for Children tax credit. Although we do have meaningful volunteers who do a lot of this work that we do with CASA, we can't do that without effective operations and without dedicated staff members. And so we really do need this tax credit to incentivize donations. Our colleagues at Monaca, I think, said it well too. Sometimes incentive for small donations, big donations, it doesn't matter. This has been a huge incentive and a huge program for us, and we really urgently, as she said, want this tax credit to be extended into 2032. So again, we are in strong favor of House Bill 32, and we appreciate everything you do for children and families. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir, could you repeat your last name?
Yeah, it's Brock Whistler.
Okay.
Yep.
Any questions to the witness? Seeing none. Thank you. Next up in favor.
Good morning. My name is Gina Clement. I'm Executive Director for Capital City Court-Appointed Special Advocates here in Jefferson City. I'm here in support of House Bill 326. I have taken those phone calls from donors saying, do you have the tax credits? And if so, how much and how does it work? So I've also gotten phone calls when people are grumpy about things that don't work with the tax credit bill. So this is very important to the work that we do to helping to recruit, train, and support our volunteers. So we would appreciate support on this bill. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none. Next up in favor.
All right, good morning. My name is Kelly Hill, and I'm the Executive Director for Heart of Missouri CASA in Columbia. We serve Boone and Callaway counties, the 13th Judicial Circuit, and I'm here also to speak in support of the House Bill 326. As you've heard, I probably don't need to go into detail. There are numerous reasons why we need this tax credit. Our operational budget is about $1 million, and a huge percentage of that comes from private donations. And in the human services landscape, there are a lot of different kinds of tax credits, a very competitive world to get people's donations. And so it is very urgent for us to extend the tax credit, but we also appreciate the efforts that are being made to improve some of the challenges that exist when the caps are reached. So we are fully in support of this, and appreciate you taking it up.
Thank you. Any questions to the witness? Seeing none. Anyone else that would like to testify in favor? Seeing none. Anyone that would like to testify in opposition?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I just wanted to verify if you received my online electronic testimony. I wanted to make sure that you received my online electronic testimony against this bill.
Do we have? No? I'm sorry. Did you get electronic testimony?
We can check. If not, we can just have you fill one out at the end.
Yeah, I submitted it at the beginning of the week.
We know you were here.
Yeah, thanks. So, members of the committee, my name is Arnie C. AC Dino, State Public Advocate. I'm opposed to HCS HB326. There's too many issues in this bill. It's a violation of our Missouri State Constitution, which I take to heart, and it's been of controversy in the state Senate on many bills. One was filibustered last night, which was on the a tax credit for childcare by the same House member who sponsored this bill. On February 10th, I testified against this bill in the House Ways and Means Committee. I feel that it's a responsibility of Missourians to pay out of their goodness of their own heart and from their own pockets without, at the same time, having their left hand out, wanting some type of public welfare or some type of tax credit or a gift in return for doing the right thing. Missourians have to learn to do the right thing when it's time to give money to charitable organizations and to volunteer their time. It's not the government's obligation to offer these tax credits and to offer all these social welfare programs. The Children Champion Tax Credit is just a way to divert taxes from Missourians, and I think Missourians need to dig deep in their pockets and give to these charitable organizations without something of value or something in return. When it comes to the food bank tax credit, I also agree that it must be upon our churches and our not-for-profits, our synagogues, to make sure that our homeless and the people that don't have ample food are being fed. And the mistake forgiveness with the Missouri Department of Revenue, I'll be for that. That makes sense. The amateur sports tax credit, I disagree with allowing another $3 million to the already $3 million that's been appropriated for the last decade. $3 million is enough. If the communities in question feel that it's going to be profitable and a good return on investment by driving economic development and driving business and sales tax, then they'll pony up the money to build these facilities on their own dime and not on the state's appropriation dime. We are on the road as a state as a state going broke because of the number of tax credits. If you add up all the tax credits that have been submitted in a bill by the state senators and House members, we would be several millions, maybe over $1 billion in the hole if we gave every tax credit and approved every bill for a tax credit. Last night is a perfect example on HB 2698 on the child tax credit, which is a $70 million fiscal note. And there's a pending amendment to move that appropriation from the $70 million down to $20. It's not the government's responsibility when people have a child. It's the parent's responsibility to make sure that their child is protected and taken care of in proper fashion. The fiscal note on this is $7.3 million or more. And I think that's very conservative. I think we're looking at well over possibly $10 million. And like I said, it's not the government's responsibility to give handouts for people who should be doing the appropriate moral and ethical thing by taking care of their neighbors and donating without the return of something of value back to them. For those reasons, I'm opposed to HCS HB326. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the witness? Seeing none, anyone else here to testify in opposition? Seeing none, anyone for informational purposes only? Seeing none, Representative, do you have any closing remarks?
First of all, thanks again for coming in today. I do think the Champion for Children's Tax Credit and the Food Bank tax credits have been used wisely throughout the years, and hopefully you'll consider that extension of that sunset date. And I do believe, and I know for my community and for others, that the amateur tax credits have been very beneficial as well. And so anyway, I thank you. And the diaper bank, I shouldn't leave them out as well. I guess in my community benefits, but many communities across the state benefits. So with that, I asked you to consider this piece of legislation, and thanks again.
Thank you, Representative. This concludes the hearing for House Committee Substitute for HB 326. I'd like to make a motion that we now go into executive session. Do I have a second? I have a second. We are in executive session. I move that House Committee Substitute for House Bill 326 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. This is Representative Shields' legislation that you may recall from just about a few minutes ago. Is there any discussion on this bill? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Brown,
Aye.
Gregory 21, Gregory 15. Senator Lewis has left her vote with the chair. She's voting yes. Senator Schnelting, Senator Trent has left his vote with the chair. He's voting yes. Senator Washington.
Yes.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted to do pass House Committee Substitute for House Bill 326.
I now move that House Committee Substitute for House Bill 202 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. This is Representative Casteel's unemployment benefit legislation we heard 2 weeks ago. There is a committee substitute that makes some changes for the Department of Labor. The committee substitute differs from the original version in that it provides a claimant is disqualified for unemployment compensation if the designated representative of the Division of Employment Security finds that the claimant failed to appear for a scheduled job interview or skills test for suitable work a combination of 3 times in a benefit year rather than an unemployment cycle. I move that the committee adopt the Senate Committee Substitute for House Committee Substitute for House Bill 202. Do I have a second? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We have adopted the substitute. I now move that the committee vote Senate Committee Substitute for House Committee Substitute for House Bill 202 do pass. Do I have a second? Second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Brown,
Aye.
Gregory 21, Gregory 15. Senator Lewis left her vote with the chair. She's voting no. Senator Schnelting. Senator Trent left his vote with the chair. He's voting yes. Senator Washington. By your vote of 4-2, you have voted to do pass Senate Committee substitute for House Committee substitute for House Bill 202.
With no further business coming before the committee, I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? We are adjourned.